morning, everyone. My name is Desiree at All See in the Barn today. So today is Tuesday. We have a lot going on today. We have the farrier, the vet, and feed delivery. So biggest news. Do you guys remember Dr. Nicole? She came out last week and she planned to adopt 7 horses. Isn't that crazy? That is such an amazing opportunity for her to come out here and find a therapy program for all her people to work with. We got Harvey, Callie, Wes, Dylan, Rue, and then we have Erin from across the street, and then we also have our sweet donkey named Jupiter, and she's inside the end pen. So we're so blessed to have her to adopt these 7 animals from us. With all the horses that are getting adopted, we want to make sure they got their feet done, their dental done, and all their vaccination done. Today, we got Jupiter, she's getting her feet done. So we're hoping to get everything going. We got her vaccinated done last week, and all the horses that came in that I name of, they already got vaccinated, dental, shoes done, they're good. So we're ready for them to go to their new home this week.
Hi, I'm Walker Reynolds. I'm the farrier out here at All Seed in the Barn. And today we're working on a lot of horses. We've done everything from trimming a pony while it was getting castrated, a young pony, and we just went ahead while the vet was castrating, it was laying down, I trimmed it, so it was good teamwork. And then we also worked on quite a few horses that the vet had done x-rays on Friday, so I was able to look at the x-rays, talk to her, and figure out what was the best game plan for them. And there was Millie and Jamie that we've done already, and Olivia, and we have one more of those to do. But it's really nice because I have x-rays to look at to base my trim off of, and I get her opinion on what's best for the horse, so it works out really good. And then we're going to trim some donkeys and a couple drafts and call it a day.
Hey everybody, it's Maddie at All Seed in the Barn. Today it's just kind of a free day for me, so I'm doing some tree trimming, trying to get them all beautiful for when we have our events here. Something that helps me decompress, you know. I don't know why, I'm not a gardener or anything like that, but it just has always helped me, make me feel relaxed. And I get to be with the animals, and they love to try to eat everything that I trim off, and it's just gonna be a great, calming, beautiful day. So today is Nick's birthday. He turned 22 today. He's trying to keep it on the DL, but I've already shouted it out to the whole barn, so pretty much everybody knows now.
Walker is gonna grab his front leg with the rope. This rope is to get it on this bar because these things are too big to hold. This is a Belgian draft. This is Sam. Sam is so big, he's not very gentle, so we're gonna use this stock.
Oh, stock bro.
Stock bro. He's a good boy. It's very dangerous. So he's gonna get it up, and it's a one-man job. Honestly, 2 guys in the way, it's kind of dangerous. They can still get you with that other hind foot. He's gonna go around that peg, come back around, do a half hitch, hold it down. So now the whole leg is roped right down to this post. So he has a good, solid place to work. You couldn't do as good a job as we're gonna do right now if you're holding it between your legs, because if they pull at all, it's like 5 horses at once pulling on you. So Walker is gonna get the grinder. We use grinders on these horses because there's so much area to cover. And honestly, their feet are so hard. It is so much work. You're better off to use the tool because the grinder can do just as good a job and you're not wearing your elbows out. And the thing about these drafts, they don't grow a lot of depth too with the foot. So there's not a lot of actual sole to take out. So you gotta gather it out. See all this right here? When this chips off, say that breaks, it can get cracks really bad. So all we're gonna do is maintain these feet. I'm gonna get Walker started and just clean the frog up, get the commissures ready. Basically my job is just to prep Walker to where he doesn't have to do these mundane things. But yeah, the stock is the saving grace to this job. These things are very hard to work on if not. With his grinder, he's probably gonna use his nippers on the lateral side. He's gonna come in there,
Clean up the bar.
He's gonna clean up the bars, straighten the bars up. Oh yeah, see, right here he's got an abscess. Old abscess, all that black. So you wouldn't know it, you think he's in the stock and you're safe, but like this hind right, he can come out and kick right here. So you really gotta be careful in this area. Yeah, so Walker's cleaning out with his knife. In all reality, that's live sole right there. So a lot of trimming drafts is just gathering the foot back to where it needs to be. You're not gonna really get crazy on the bottom and really pair them out because you can get these things sore. And say someone did get these horses sore, these are very hard to doctor. So we really, really try to not take too much, but also just gather the foot back. It's gonna take all that leverage. All that wall is just leveraged against him. Coming around there, trimming the lateral, coming around to the medial. Get all that foot back. Might relieve a little sole pressure, but he did a big 45. What's things hard too is now he's trying to sight the foot, and that is a difficult part with the stock, is you can't look down the leg, so it's kind of a guessing game. But if you've trimmed enough of him, you'll know. You'll kind of know where you're at. A little high on that lateral heel. Right now he's checking for length. You know, he might feel long, but it's not. He's not long from the bottom, he's just long in the front. So he's gonna get more wall off. All the work he did of trimming was just 45ing the foot. Now he's checking around. Leave the crack, because if you don't, that's just gonna split in a couple weeks and then you'll have another issue. So now he's gonna take his grinder. You're all right, I know. Now he's just rounding the edges really good. If you were to do this with a rasp, it would take twice as long. It's the same thing. Basically, that grinder is his rasp right now. He'll kick you. Very dangerous. I know for a fact this isn't hurting him, but it's scary, I imagine, for a horse. But getting your feet not getting trimmed, him not getting trimmed, is worse, because his feet will get long, they'll split. You can see this front right. You see the front right, if you look at the front right foot, if you look at the inside, you'll see that big split right there. So if you're not trimming it, what will happen is that split will go all the way to the coronet band and the piece will fall off. Well, sometimes it can be so bad you'll basically have an open wound because it's split so bad. So what Walker did, you see this, it's a big 45. Big beveled edge to where it can roll on the ground and you're not gonna have any splits. That's the goal, at least. If you look at the hind right, you see the hind right, it's got a split coming up. It's got a split on the medial side, both sides, so that can be an issue. That's why he's in the stock and he's gonna get trimmed.
So today we gelded Mouse. He is actually a return from a previous adoption. Him and Roida, our paint donkey in the big barn. The owner, I think, was moving away and needed to return them, unfortunately. And so we got Mouse back. Mouse, before he left, was really mouthy and, you know, just kind of a wild child because he was such a pony. And now he's back, he looks totally different. His coat's totally changed. I think his demeanor's gonna be a little bit better now that he got castrated.
Hi guys, so this is Sophia. So Sophia has been with us since December. You remember the 22 horses that came in? So she's one of them. It's one of the original. So we noticed that she's becoming off. So we're gonna do some x-rays on her front end to see where she's at. So I think it's more of her fedlock, but we'll go from there and see what docs say, and stay tuned.
So hi, I'm Tracy with All Seated in a Barn. I'm a volunteer here. Today is bath day for Peaches and for Clover. Peaches is, I believe, just about 1, and Clover might be about 1 as well. And it's a good hot day, and it's a good time to give them baths. And it's a really great thing to have a young volunteer here to help bath also. This is her second time she's bathed a little mini, and Clover is so sweet. They're really easygoing animals, and it's important to have hands-on experience supervised. So it's really important that kids and animals get to know each other, because, you know, in the human world, you want to be kind to others. Others that don't look like you, others that don't sound like you, others that might not speak your language, but there is a universal language, and it's love. And you can show it to humans, and you can show it to animals too. Because even though they might not understand your words, they understand your touch, they understand the tone, they understand the kindness and the gentleness that comes out when you're loving on a horse. Same as people. It's a golden rule, right? You'd be kind to each other. You want somebody to be kind to you as well. So kindness is very, very important in the human world and in the animal world. I think really especially in the animal world. Animals and kids, you know, they say if your dog doesn't trust somebody, then you need to be careful. And I think the horses, you know, they know a lot. And even donkeys, they know a lot too. Like Miss Peaches, She did not want to get a bath, but she's standing here all nice and enjoying it. And then Miss Clover over there is getting little treats on the ground that she's loving on. So important to show that kindness and gentleness. Everyday life, you're going to bump into somebody and you need to show that kindness and that love. So right here at All Seated, this is a big place for love because there's lots of animals that need it, there's lots of people that need it, and it's a two-way street. It goes back. No other place I'd rather be than here at the barn or church. One or the other is where that's my happy places.
Good morning, everyone. It's Tiffany with All Seated in a Barn. We are back for our round pen discussions, and today is a really important lesson. It's what to do with a mouthy horse. I'm gonna take you over to our horse Meatball. He's 4 years old, so he's still a baby, if you will. And so if anyone watching has experience with under 5-year-olds, they tend to be a little bit mouthy, right? In the horse world, you can see people do many different tactics and tools to try to knock that behavior off. I like to keep it really concise and simple. So let's proceed. Hi, Meatball. Come here. And with baby horses, naturally, we all want to cuddle with them, right? But we have to be really clear about what cues we're giving our horse. That way we set them up for success in the future. We all want to cuddle with our baby horses, right? But we have to make sure that we're not giving them the wrong idea. Hi! The language you create and the communication you create with your horse begins right here when you enter their stall. So I'm here with Meatball, and in order to create a good communication, it starts right from the stall. So I want to halter my horse, correct? So I'm get to the left side of my horse. As you can see, he's already trying to bite the halter, right? And I don't necessarily like that or want that. So I'm gonna cluck and push him away. And he's gonna come immediately right back. He's a baby horse, and we're just creating our line of communication. As you can see, he has this adorable mustache on him, which naturally we all wanna touch and play with, right? But that's gonna make Meatball a little bit more mouthy than he already is, so I'm not gonna do that with him. So I just stay consistent. I cluck and I push his face away. Consistency creates your line of communication. So now I'm gonna halter him. Every time he goes to bite the halter, I'm gonna push him away. He's licking and chewing, which means he's responding. If I'm the first person who has ever set up this line of communication with him, it's gonna take him a while. But if I'm consistent, Meatball will be better set up for success in the future. And so I don't expect him to understand completely right now. But if he can keep responding to my cue, I know that over time, we will nail this in no time. So I'm gonna halter him. And you can see how he was quiet enough that I didn't even have to cluck and turn his head away to put the halter on. So now we have the halter on. And you can see how even the lead line is making him want to grab it, right? So I'm just gonna stay consistent. When he stands here nicely, then we could proceed forward. Good boy. And it's all about letting your horse know when they've done when they've chosen the correct answer. Good. He's just looking around at everything that's going on. Good boy. And now we can walk out. So it's just remaining consistent. He's starting to play with the lead line, so I'm just gonna take it back out of his mouth. It's just a matter of creating that line of communication and at each moment showing up for your horse so that they could get the right answer. And sometimes you don't have your hands free, so you gotta bunk butts here. You gotta get creative. But my cue still remains the same, right? I did my cluck, and then I use that physical contact. I don't want a mouthy horse. I don't want them to grab me. I don't want them to eat my tack. I don't want them to nibble a guest or someone that's visiting the property. So this is really important to me, and it should be important for you and your horse too. So the reason why we start with the halter is because when we go to bridle, your horse is gonna be set up the same exact way. And so when we start from the very bottom, we set them up for success when it comes to bridling and riding. Something that goes hand in hand with a mouthy horse is a pushy horse, right? And so if you have a horse that leads in front of you and drags you along, or you have a horse that really gets into your personal space, I'm gonna give you some pointers for how to back your horse off of you and create that safe space for you and your horse. The next part that comes with a mouthy horse is being able to lead a pushy horse, right? So I'm gonna show you how to properly lead your horse. You're gonna put your right hand underneath where your lead line and your halter meet. Meatball obviously wants to be mouthy, and so I'm just gonna keep my cues consistent. I cluck and I push his head out, and you can see he's looking away from me now. That creates that safe space. So your cluck and your physical contact creates that space. Second, the positioning of your hands. You're gonna put one hand underneath and your left hand is gonna hold the extra line. Walk on. So I let go so that I could tap his mouth away from my hand. When you're walking a horse, you always want to be level with their shoulders. If Meatball was walking behind me, that means I'm walking too fast and I no longer can see where my horse's head is at. And that sets me up to get bit by my horse. So you always want to have your horse's head next to you and your shoulders be side by side.
Whoa. Good boy. Good boy.
And so this is a new line of communication for Meatball. So I'm gonna be really patient and respectful about Meatball and his learning process. Eventually, he will understand and he'll be able to stand here without wanting to check everything out with his mouth. And by keeping your hand underneath, with a mouthy horse, he's not gonna be able to grab your hand. And when you're consistent and you work on this every day with your horse, they're gonna pick up the cues a lot easier. So this is Meatball's first time learning these cues, and I'd say he's learning it pretty quickly. But you have to be really aware and clear at all times. If you let the behavior slide sometimes, then you're not staying consistent and your horse doesn't really understand what the right answer is. Consistency teaches your horse what the right answer is, and we always want to set them up for success. Who here has a cinchy horse or has ever heard of a horse being cinchy? We're gonna talk about that behavior really quickly. If I'm over here tacking up Meatball, and every time I go to do the cinch, he goes to bite me, I'm gonna do the same exact thing. When he turns his head, I'm just gonna cluck and send him back out. And every time I do the cinch, he turns his head, I'm going to cluck and push his head back out so that he learns the cinch is not a cue or a time to bite. We're getting ready to work and he needs to respond to that cue while saddling as well. And so when you start at the very basics from getting a horse from the stall, they can better understand what you're trying to teach them, and it translates through all phases of your relationship with your horse. I love baby horses, but they do take a lot of patience and a lot of work. And always be aware of what your horse is telling you in each moment. So I just clucked Meatball a few times, and eventually Meatball said, he let out a deep breath and he was like, all right, I'm out of here. And I let him move out. He understood that I didn't want him in my space anymore, and so he walked away, and that's okay. That's what I wanted from him. He was like, she keeps telling me no, I'm gonna go find a different answer. And so pay attention to your horse and be willing to learn from them and listen to them, because they're always saying something and they are great teachers.
Good afternoon, I'm Jacob, I'm the project manager here, and we are building yet another shelter. These shelters are a little inadequate for the summer. We're going to be doing a three-sided shelter. If you look across, we've completed one over there, and today's project we're going to be completing 3 shelters. Yeah, busy day, busy day. We got all our material, concrete, and digging equipment. So right now, as you can see, we're nice foundation set, getting our lines, making sure everything's squared, so it makes the building process a lot easier. Oh, the first and last, so many learning lessons. It's like reinventing the wheel. Volunteers, professionals, people that work in the trades, they come and volunteer, and I learn quite a bit from them. So if you look at our original structures, they're just awful to what they've come a long way. So I'm very thankful for the people, the volunteers coming out and teaching a few things.
So Ziggy's only 3 years old. He just turned in March. It was actually a bonus save. We had saved Mom, didn't know she was pregnant. He ended up being born a few months later. Oh, hello, Bruce. Bruce is his best friend. We got a beautiful baby boy out of the deal. He's so sweet. He's my favorite. We throw him a birthday party every year, and he does so well with all the others. Like I said, Bruce is his best friend. Bruce always gravitates to this kind of draft horse. It's just crazy, but yeah, we just love him so much, don't we?
Hi, my name's Lily, and I'm here with Nike. So I just finished doctoring Nike. We did hydrotherapy, so I just sprayed his leg down with water for like 10 minutes-ish. I put this like ointment on it, rubbed it all over his leg, And so yeah, that's just kind of what I was doing, was doctoring his leg and whatnot. He's a really good horse. He's really sweet, and he stood really still for me, so he's great.
So when I first started, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I had to slowly get into the vet world because you can't just always come and do the fun stuff. So you have to work. Once I slowly get to learn more of the vet world out here at All See in the Barn, I did not know much really. I didn't get caught on like where's the horses becoming lame or how to like prevent for them to get more infected. Now here at All See in the Barn, if I see something, if the horse is lame, I put it on the board. Or if something is wrong, if it has an abscess, I know how to do what I need to do. It's so cool to see like from the beginning of learning and now showing other people how to do it. So it's like a mentor and learning from, learning experience. So working fast-paced here at All See in the Barn is very hands-on. That's the key for me. If it's very good for me to work with the vet, it's a great opportunity to work with them.
The best way to support us is always through donations, whether that be product that we need or monetary. And you can do that by joining our Patreon, going to the website, or visiting any of our social media platforms for links on the best ways to help us.